Have you ever wondered what it was like to survive the coldest nights of winter as a medieval peasant? Imagine waking up in a small, thatched roof cottage, the air around you biting and crisp, with frost clinging to the wooden beams. The sun hasn't risen yet, and the faint glow of embers in the fireplace is the only source of warmth. You stretch beneath layers of rough wool blankets, each one heavy with the weight of another long, cold night. Let me know what medieval mysteries you want to explore in the next video. As you pull yourself out of bed, the chill hits you instantly. You shuffle across the earthen floor, your feet cold against the rough surface, and make your way to the fireplace. The fire has dwindled to a few glowing coals, and you can smell the faint scent of smoke mingling with the earthiness of the damp ground. You poke at the coals with a stick, hoping to coax a flame back to life. The sound of crackling wood breaks the silence of the early morning, a small comfort in the otherwise stark reality of medieval life. You are one of the many peasants who toils the land, and survival is not just about enduring the cold, it is a delicate balancing act of resources and labor. Your day begins with the daunting task of gathering what little fuel you can find. Outside, the world is a frozen landscape. The trees stand bare, their branches coated in frost, and the fields are blanketed by a thick layer of snow. The biting wind snatches at your clothes as you step outside, and you pull your tattered cloak tighter around your shoulders. As you venture into the woods, your breath forms clouds of vapor in the frigid air. You search for dead branches, fallen twigs, anything you can burn to keep your family warm. The crunch of snow underfoot is a constant reminder of the chill that seeps into your bones. You gather what you can, feeling the sting of the cold on your fingers as they work to collect fuel in the biting wind. Every twig you find feels like a small victory, a tiny defense against the winter's relentless grip. Once back at the cottage, you stack the wood by the fireplace, feeling a sense of accomplishment. But the warmth from the fire is fleeting, and you must prepare for the day ahead. The routines of peasant life are unforgiving. You have chores to complete, livestock to tend, and fields to check, all while battling the cold that seeps into every corner of your existence. As the sun begins to rise, it casts a pale light through the small window. The interior of the cottage remains dim, with shadows dancing across the walls. You can smell the remnants of last night's supper, a meager stew made from whatever scraps were left, perhaps a few potatoes and some dried herbs. You heat up what little is left, the steam rising and filling the air with a comforting aroma, albeit brief. Meals are sparse, and every morsel is precious, especially in the depths of winter. After breakfast, you step outside to face the day. The chill is still biting, but you have no choice but to push onward. The livestock needs feeding, and as you walk toward the barn, you can hear the muffled sounds of the animals within, seeking warmth and food. Chickens cluck softly, and you can hear the low moos of cows waiting patiently for their morning meal. You fill their troughs with hay, your hands numb from the cold, but the animals' gratitude is a small reward for your efforts. Then comes the hard part of the day, checking the fields. You trudge through the snow, each step laborious as you survey the land. The crops are dormant, buried beneath a thick layer of frost. It's a time of uncertainty, a time when hope hangs by a thread. Will the spring bring enough warmth for the seeds to sprout? Will there be enough food to last until harvest? These are the nagging thoughts that plague your mind, but you push them aside, focusing instead on the tasks at hand. The wind howls as you work, a constant reminder of the harshness of your environment. But amidst the cold, there are moments of beauty. The way the sunlight glints off the snow, creating a dazzling array of sparkles, or the sight of a bird flitting through the trees, searching for food to survive. These small joys provide a flicker of warmth in your heart, a reminder that life continues despite the hardships. As dusk approaches, the temperature drops even further. You head back to the cottage, exhausted but determined. The fire is now a desperate flicker, and you quickly add more wood, watching as the flames leap to life once again. The warmth envelopes you like a soft blanket, and you sink into your chair, feeling the tension in your muscles begin to ease. The day may have been long and filled with challenges, but you know that you have survived another day. The cold may be relentless, but so is your spirit. As you sip a warm cup of herbal tea, the day's hardships fade away. This is the rhythm of life as a medieval peasant, a cycle of struggle and resilience, where each day is a testament to survival against the odds. Let me know what medieval mysteries you want to explore in the next video. As the fire crackles and casts flickering shadows around the cottage, you take a moment to savor the warmth enveloping you. It's a brief respite before you must tackle the next task of the evening. Outside, the sky deepens into a rich indigo, and the first stars begin to twinkle, providing a stark contrast to the darkening landscape. You know the night will bring even colder temperatures, and the thought of your family huddling together for warmth fills you with determination. After finishing your tea, you turn your attention to the small oil lamp hanging from the wall, its glass surface smudged and cloudy from last winter's use. You carefully fill the lamp with oil, grateful for the few drops you've managed to save. Light is a precious commodity in these long, dark months, and the flickering flame will help guide you through the evening's chores. With the lamp lit, you can see more clearly the modest furnishings of your homey: a rough-hewn table, a few wooden stools, and a small cupboard containing the few belongings you cherish. The evening is when you tend to the last of your tasks, preparing for the next day. You sift through the remnants of your meager pantry, searching for any food that might help sustain your family. You find some dried beans that you had stored away, a small treasure amidst the sparse provisions. As you soak them in a bowl of water, you think about how precious they will be for the next meal, possibly a hearty soup to nourish your loved ones. Every scrap of food is a potential lifeline, and you take pride in your ability to stretch resources as far as they can go. Once the beans are soaking, you pick up your wooden spoon and begin to mend your children's clothes. The fabric is thin and worn, threadbare from the wear and tear of daily life. You recall the time when your little ones played in the fields, laughing and running in the sun, their clothes vibrant with color. Now, as you stitch, you think of how they'll need warmth during the winter months, and you work with care, hoping to patch together not just fabric, but the threads of their joy and comfort. Each stitch feels like an act of love, a way to protect them from the elements. As you work, the soft sounds of your family fill the air. Your partner is seated by the fire, recounting stories of the past to your children, their laughter mingling with the crackling of the flames. The tales of knights and dragons, of brave heroes and enchanted forests, transport everyone away from the harshness of their reality. You listen, your heart swelling with warmth, knowing that even in times of struggle, these moments of joy are vital for resilience. They remind you of the strong bonds that hold your family together, a fortress against the trials of the outside world. Suddenly, the sound of a knock at the door disrupts your cozy evening. You exchange curious glances with your partner, uncertain of who could be visiting at such a late hour. With a gentle nudge, you rise to answer the door, your heart racing as you wonder what news awaits you. As you open the door, a gust of icy wind sweeps into the cottage, sending a shiver down your spine. Standing before you is a neighbor, wrapped in a thick cloak, his face flushed from the cold. "Have you heard the news?" he asks breathlessly, clutching a bundle of firewood he's brought to share. "There are rumors of a traveling merchant passing through the village tomorrow. They say he carries spices and goods from far-off lands, something we haven't seen in ages." Excitement fills the air, igniting a spark of hope within you. The thought of fresh spices and new ingredients fills your mind with possibilities for meals that could bring a bit of joy to your kitchen. You invite your neighbor inside, grateful for his presence and the warmth he brings with him. The children gather around, their eyes wide with wonder at the prospect of new flavors and stories that could accompany the merchant's arrival. As the evening progresses, the conversation flows easily, laughter and stories weaving together. You discuss the challenges of the season and the importance of community in ensuring survival. You share tips on preserving food, on keeping livestock healthy, and on the best ways to protect your crops from the harsh winter frost. The camaraderie warms your heart more than the fire ever could, and you realize how essential these connections are for your well-being. Once your neighbor takes his leave, you return to your evening chores, filled with a renewed sense of purpose. The idea of the merchant keeps your spirits high, and your mind races with plans for what you might barter with. You think about the extra eggs from your hens and the wool you've gathered from shearing the sheep. Perhaps these could trade for a small bag of spices, or even a few seeds to plant when spring arrives. With the gentle hum of your family's voices carrying through the cottage, you tuck the children into bed, each nestled beneath layers of blankets, their tiny faces peaceful against the chill of the night. As you retreat to your own corner, you can't help but feel a sense of gratitude for the day you've endured. The cold may still grip the world outside, but inside, your heart is warm, and the spirit of hope ignites a flame that will carry you into tomorrow. The night deepens, and the wind howls softly outside, but within your cottage, a sense of anticipation fills the air. You curl up in your chair, your mind still buzzing with thoughts of the merchant and the treasures he might bring. You can't shake the feeling that tomorrow could be a turning point, not just for your family, but for the entire village. As you gaze into the flickering flames, your imagination begins to wander. You envision vibrant spices that could transform your humble meals into feasts fit for royalty. The thought of fragrant cinnamon, fiery pepper, and sweet cloves dances in your mind, igniting a longing for flavors you haven't tasted in years. You remember the festivals of old, where the tables overflowed with food and laughter, and your heart swells with hope that perhaps those days could return, even if just for a moment. With the children tucked in and your partner busy tending to the last embers of the fire, you take a moment to reflect on the village's struggles. The harsh winter has not only affected your family but has also put a strain on your neighbors. The snow has buried fields, and many farmers have lost their crops to the relentless frost. The thought of their hardships weighs heavily on your heart. You wonder how many will gather at the market tomorrow, each with their own hopes and dreams, their own stories of survival. A soft creak interrupts your thoughts as your partner joins you, a steaming cup of broth in hand. The warmth of the liquid radiates through the mug, and you take a sip, savoring the rich, comforting taste. It's made from the bones of a chicken you had saved for a special occasion, and although it's sparse, it nourishes your body and soul. You share a knowing glance, both of you aware that small moments like this are what keep the flame of hope alive. Do you think we'll have enough to trade? Your partner asks, breaking the silence. You nod, feeling a swell of determination. The eggs from your hens have been plentiful, and the wool you sheared from the sheep could fetch a good price. You imagine standing at the market, bartering for spices, and the idea fills you with excitement. It's more than just a transaction, it's a chance to connect with others, to share in their struggles and triumphs, to be part of a community that supports one another. As the fire crackles softly, you begin to share your own hopes for the market day. You talk about the potential of planting new seeds in the spring, envisioning a garden bursting with vegetables and herbs. Your partner smiles, inspired by your enthusiasm. Together, you dream of a future filled with abundance, where the children can run through fields of green and play amidst the flowers, their laughter echoing in the warm sun. The warmth of the broth begins to settle in your stomach, and as you finish the last few sips, you find yourself growing weary. The day's labor has taken its toll, and the rhythmic sound of the wind outside lulls you into a state of calm. You can't help but think of the challenges tomorrow may bring, yet the thought is no longer daunting. Instead, it feels like an adventure waiting to unfold. Before you know it, the fire has burned low, and the stars twinkle through the window, a silent promise of a new day. You and your partner gather the few items needed for tomorrow: a small basket for carrying goods, a couple of warm cloaks, and the precious eggs nestled carefully in a cloth. There's something invigorating about preparing for a journey, even one as simple as a trip to the village market. It brings a sense of purpose that transcends the daily grind. As you prepare to retire for the night, you take a moment to look around your home. The small space feels vibrant with life, filled with the echoes of laughter and the warmth of love. Each object tells a story, from the hand-carved table that has hosted countless meals to the worn quilts stitched together with care. You smile to yourself, grateful for the life you've built, and as you extinguish the lamp, the soft glow of the embers is a reminder of the light that endures even in darkness. You slip into bed, the chill of the night creeping around the edges but quickly fading as you nestle beneath the blankets. Your partner wraps an arm around you, and you close your eyes, dreaming of what tomorrow might bring. The wind howls outside, but inside your heart, a fire burns bright, fueled by hope and the unyielding spirit of your family. A warmth that no winter could ever extinguish. As the first light of dawn breaks through the frost-kissed window, you awaken to the soft sounds of your children stirring. The promise of market day electrifies the air, mingling with the earthy aroma of the wood smoke still lingering from the fire. Your partner is already up, moving quietly about the kitchen, preparing a simple breakfast of porridge. The warmth of the hearth beckons, and as you rise, you feel a thrill mingling with the morning chill.